Evening, everybody. This is another episode of Punditviews, and we're down to the nitty gritty now. We're going to be getting out of the show. I'm going to give you a little bit of an announcement here. We're getting out of this show full time, but what we're going to be doing is while we're going to be having a new show on Monday nights, we are going to make this as part of a Patreon slash Twitter feed slash everything. Basically, those are going to be special. They're not going to be every week, and they're going to be basically only the biggest type of celebs. So it's what we're going to be working on with this. I'm not going to get rid of this forever, but it's going to be really nice idea that I've got. It's going to be only the best type of celebrities, any kind of celebrities, any type of coach, any of that kind of stuff. Something that you can put on a Patreon and any of those. So anyway, I'm gonna for the final week or so. We just had Nick Bodkins last week. This week, and I've been promising this kid this. I've been promising him this for a bit because I've gotten everybody else on twice. And I said this is about the end right here. And he's one of my favorite guys. Will Vogel, come on in. How you doing?
Thank you, Jacob. I'm
Good.
doing great.
I said I was going to bring you on the final time. It's like you got the last 2 weeks coming up eventually, but it's like we're going to get to this. And one of the things I wanted to be able to do is we already did an interview with you about what you did before. So I thought we'd do something tonight. It's like one of your sports is in right now. Two of the others are going to be. So I figured we'd get a little preview and a preview of your two of them, and then what you think with the Yankees. Play GM. We'll do all those type of things tonight.
Sounds good to me.
No problem. Now, one of the big things right now. Let's talk about what do you say? Let's talk about the Panthers first.
It's up to you, man.
Yep. So okay, with the Panthers, it's been a bit of an interesting ride the last couple years or so. It just never felt correct. You know what I'm saying? Never felt right. Maybe a quarterback short. You had some nice playmakers. So, what would you say the improvements or things that you like right now in this new Panthers team?
What we improved on is we got a steady quarterback. We got Bryce Young, who is good when he's healthy. The only downside is he's on the shorter end of things, but you know what? He's a learner and he's a bright mind. He's the number one pick. It's going to be a lot of pressure, but you know what? We've had number one pick in the past, aka Cam Newton, and he had a really good rookie year. But also, we added we did lose DJ Moore, which stinks, but we added a veteran receiver in Adam Thielen. We also added a veteran tight end with Hayden Hurst. We re-signed Bradley Bozeman. Despite the rumors we were trading Brian Burns, we re-signed him, which was huge because he's the leader of our defense. We fired our coach. We got a new coach who used to play for us, Frank Reich, but he was known for the Bills. But he did good with the Colts when he was with them. So I'm excited to see what he brings. A new coach, a new atmosphere instead of Matt Rule, who should have stayed in college, in my opinion. Also, you got Jim Caldwell, who's an assistant, and I like our new. I think he's our GM, but Scott Fitter, he's from Seattle, so he knows like you want winning football.
Yeah. So what? Not here's the question on this. We already know how smart. We do know how smart Bryce Young is. We do know what he's got there. Does the size worry you at all? Because it's not only height. Because at least Drew Brees had some muscle on him. This guy looks really tiny in that huddle. Does that worry you at all as far as any kind of injuries? But at the same time, we thought about Cam Newton. He was a giant. He got hurt himself.
It does worry me a little bit. It does worry me a bit, but I know we have a pretty darn good O-line with Bradley Bozeman and a few other guys returning. But yeah, it does concern me a little bit. But also, you know what? He was the second best, or flip flop with CJ Stroud, the best quarterback in this draft. But it will definitely getting used to seeing a rather smaller quarterback in the pocket rather than a tall 6 foot something quarterback.
Which you had there. It's like, I
Yes.
mean, by itself. I mean, that's been most of the league though. Is the tall, really tall quarterbacks. I mean, that's what the Bears had over those years. It's like, let's see, their last three have been 6'3", 6'2", 6'3". You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Yeah.
it's and then let's see, 220, 228, and 232. So they're all big. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they're all big. They never had a problem with the size. It's just you got to remember they never had a 4,000-yard year ever. So I
Yeah.
can see that part. Hey George, how's it going?
Hey, George.
And no, and then really though, it's like if you would see, do you like Scott Fitterer or the things that you would have done if you're Scott Fitterer as far as the GM things right now?
Oh, I liked what Scott Fitterer did. Hayden Hurst is a good number one tight end. I was sick of Ian Thomas, to be honest. Like, that guy, when we drafted him out of Indiana, they said he was going to be one of the best tight ends in the draft. And to me, he hasn't really proved anything. Every so often he gets a touchdown, but I don't like the guy personally. I'm happy we got a guy starting over him. Um, Thielen's an older receiver, but he's veteran, so he can teach the younger guys like uh, the guy from Ole Miss. Forgot his last name. Starts with an R. Maybe Ringo. I don't know. Rambo. Something like that.
Healy Ringo?
No. Oh, don't remember what his name is. But um, and then we got Brian Burns on the defense. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of Scott Fitterer personally.
Oh yeah, understood completely. And no, you've got yourself a really good coach. I mean, Reich is. You've got that. But one of the big things that comes from it is maybe people have learned their lesson from the Matt Rule situation. It's like just because you're in college doesn't mean it's pros to be successful.
Exactly.
And what was that noise?
I was just moving my camera closer to me.
But it's like maybe they've learned their lesson on that, and it's like, or the first timers and all. But at the same time, they're giving first timers to pull all the time. So it's by itself. It's like, do you think there was any kind of high point to the Matt Rule era?
No.
Yeah.
No. He was the only thing that was bright in his career so far was turning that Baylor team. And we thought, oh, he could turn the Baylor Bears around. He can turn us into Super Bowl contenders again. Oh, boy, were we wrong.
Well, Chicago, not Chicago. I mean, the whole point about it is that NFL and college are completely different. You're dealing with
Two
kids.
different games, two different types of players.
Mm-hmm. I mean, spin. The speed is different. Spin's different. Everything's different. You know, that's
Everything's
why there are
different.
levels. That's why there's levels, and you got to that. It's like, what do you see with your record this year? Truthfully,
I think we're third. I honestly think we're third. I think we're still a rebounding team. I think we're an 8-win team because New Orleans still has a pretty good defense. They got Derek Carr, they have Alvin Kamara, they got Michael Thomas, they have Chris Olave, who's a freak. And then you got the Falcons who are getting better. They got AJ Terrell. They just got Jesse Bates in free agency. They got good young pieces. They got Ritter, who I think is going to be pretty darn good. Not amazing, but pretty good. You got Cordero Patterson. You got Drake London. That Atlanta team's pretty scary. But yeah, overall, I'd say third in the division, like an 8 or 9 win team. Nothing too extraordinary.
well, I think Atlanta is a Justin Fields away from getting really good.
I can
I'm
see
just
that.
gonna be. I'm gonna be. I'm just being very honest. It's like unless Getsy gets somewhere,
You know
he's gonna
what?
take.
I feel like if Atlanta somehow can next year, like for the draft, because I think they're going to be a middle road team,
Yeah.
maybe like between the 10 to 15 range of like where they're drafting. If they can get like one of the top 3 QBs, they'll be fine.
Well, yeah, but that's what my personal thing is. I'm thinking I can love my Bears all I want, which I do, but I like Justin Fields as a human being, and I love him as a football player, and I think he's getting screwed there. And I
He
personally, I like.
is.
Oh
He
yeah,
is. And he doesn't have a great receiving core. Yeah, you got DJ Moore now, but you lost David Montgomery. But the main thing about the Bears that makes them so good lately Okay, yes, Justin Fields is good, and yes, David Montgomery played well last year. Is their defense? No one talks about their offense. It's their defense the Bears are known for.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing. It's like personally to me, I'd like to see Justin Fields come home right here. It's
I bet he
because
wouldn't mind that.
I wouldn't mind it at all because see, when I first came here to Atlanta 18 years ago, saw nothing but banners on buildings of Michael Vick. They haven't had that star since. The star that you see all over the place. They haven't had that since.
Yep.
And I mean, closest would be Trey Young, but you only see like a couple little banners that does somewhere here and there over in downtown. But
Mm-hmm.
you don't. But you. I mean, I saw you see Michael Vick everywhere, and
Yep.
Justin Fields would bring that level.
He
The
would.
kid coming home. Yeah, he would
He
bring that
would. Like
level of
Ritter's
star.
good and all, but bringing Justin Fields would bring more.
Oh, it'd bring a star level, and the thing is, he wouldn't be hurt by what the Bears do to him now because it's the Bears. That's what everybody in the league would just say. Oh, it's that way, and all you have to do is just give him. See, the thing is, I'm really hoping that I'm wrong, and this pass offense is actually competent this year. Receivers don't run into each other
Well, you got
because
DJ Moore. I think DJ Moore is going to help that team a lot.
well, he will. He will. The thing is, we don't want to make him mad because he needs to be catching balls. Because one thing about this wide receiver core last year is a lot more blocking for Fields.
Oh yeah.
It's why I didn't want to see DeAndre Hopkins and I didn't want to see all that or these big players. It's because if there's not a proper system, those big players are going to be blocking for Fields 60 yards up the field.
Exactly.
It's like, which guess what? It scores a touchdown, but these are egos. They want to be the ones getting the ball, and they don't want to do that grunt work. So there's those. So really, was there one player in the NFL that you wish could have been drafted or wish you could have gotten in free agency right now, knowing that you've got the coach you do?
Oh man, that's tough. Wow. Player I would have loved that was available. Yeah, I personally like nothing against Bryce Young, but it would have been interesting to see him in Carolina. Russell Wilson.
Do you think Russell Wilson would be good with Frank Reich?
I think he would.
Yeah, I like him with Sean Payton right
Peyton.
now.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love him with Sean Payton.
Yeah, well, and I see. I never fell in with that whole caving in. Everybody caving in on him and stuff. I never fell in on that because I knew Nathaniel Hackett was garbage.
Nathaniel Hackett was garbage, and number two, it takes a year of adjustments to get used to a new system.
Yeah, but even then, you could have been middle of the road. And the last two games, he looked with another coach. He looked like a little bit like Russell. So
Yes.
he looked a little bit like him. So it's like it shows this is just bad coaching.
Yeah, Hackett was inexcusable.
Oh yeah, and he'll never get a coaching job again. He maybe get like an assistant or consultant thing or go to college, but he's done in the NFL as far as the coaching jobs.
Oh yeah, for sure. He had his one chance and he blew it.
Yeah, so right now what we're going to get to next is we got the Hornets and we just had the draft. Let's say, oh by the way, let's go to this Jordan. Let's go to Jordan. Who will start for the Panthers at QB?
Oh, it's
Well,
that's
who's the
tough.
QB room right now? What's the QB room right now there?
It's Bryce Young, Andy Dalton, and Matt Corral.
Oh, okay. Matt Corral's
So
been there.
I think it goes Bryce, but I think Andy's going to help teach him a lot.
No, see,
And
personally,
Andy Dalton, yeah, he's had some ups and downs and ups and downs. But you know what? Andy Dalton actually helped the Bengals get to the playoffs a few times.
well, Andy Dalton's who I wanted to see play 17 games. He did get hurt a couple of times, but I would have rather seen him play at least 14 games.
So
It's
to
like,
answer Jordan's question, and I love the questions from the chat also, I got Bryce Young.
okay, I would rather see. Personally, to me, I'm very, very, very old school. I like to see him sit a year, but I mean, it's not going to be that way with these agents and the lawyers running everything.
Exactly.
So we already get to this thing, but personally, to me, I wanted to see Andy Dalton play at least 15
I would love to
games.
see Bryce. One side of me says Bryce Young, the other side says Andy Dalton for like the first 4 weeks.
Yeah. Well, no, Andy Dalton to me is if he was with the during that Bears time, if everything was perfect, if the world was perfect and we're listening to the Bears fans, Andy Dalton plays 14 games and Foles plays last 3. I
Yeah,
mean, they could win. They could win 6 games that way. They won 6 games anyway. They
yeah.
could win 6 games. It wasn't like Fields was the reason they won 6 games. He was the reason for the wrong reason. It's you can do that anyway, and it's like you let him sit and learn the game. I think Trubisky would have benefited huge by sitting behind 1 year. It's like,
Oh
and not for
yeah.
Glennon, not with Glennon. He had to play, but Brian, Brian Hoyer. Brian Hoyer had before he broke his arm, he had a great darn year. He was having a great year. The multiple 300-yard games, he was moving the ball, all that kind of stuff. But the biggest thing is they had 5 wins that year, and it's like you couldn't get that with Brian Hoyer. I
Yeah,
mean,
right.
they probably would have had 8 300-yard games and lose a bunch, But that's the thing. You could have had him on pennies on the dollar, and you let Mitch sit a year. But it's like people just lose their minds sometimes. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
They lose their minds. Now let's go on for a second. It's like I know we'll get questions eventually, but what do you think right now is how the Hornets are going right now in comparison to last year?
That's
What
my
did it do,
buddy
bud?
Void. Hey Void, that's my friend. I told him to hop in. He's a diehard
Boy.
Yankee fan. Um, I think the Hornets are a middle of the road team. I think they're like a bottom seed, 6th, 7th, 8th, or 6th, 7th, or 8th seed. We got Brandon Miller, who I really wanted. I liked Scoot. Of course, I would have loved Victor, but Brandon Miller was the second guy on my board. Scoot's a great player, but we didn't need another guard. I do like Terry Rozier. Terry's good at offense and defense. LaMelo Ball, when healthy, is a good shooter. He hurt his ankle 4 times last year. Unfortunately, the same ankle. He hurt it in preseason, came back, hurt it again. The game he came back, and then he hurt it again. It was
Well,
crazy. And then we
that
got
doesn't
mine. Go ahead.
that doesn't bode well at all because I just finished watching. You ever seen the movie Hoop Dreams?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's been a
it's
while.
that William Gates. He had, I mean, hurt his knee, came back, hurt his knee, hurt it again. We got hurt it during a camp. Then he had it. They tore it. He tore it completely. Was out 18 games. Went back too early. Had to have surgery off season. And then here's the thing. He played 3 years at Marquette, and he was never the same. And he actually had an NBA tryout in 2001 with Jordan. Jordan set him up with an NBA tryout with the Wizards, everything like that. Broke his foot. Because he
Yeah.
had seen the thing, and he broke his foot, and that's from making up for that whole knee in the first place. It's like that's not going to bode well.
No, it's not. Also, we've got Miles Bridges, who's coming off. We know the whole story, but he was a good player. He was going to get the max if not for that little incident off. Okay, not I can't say little for that incident off the court. Got PJ Washington, who could play the power forward in the center. We've got Nick Richards, Mark Williams. Yeah, I think we're a middle of the pack team.
Oh, and that's understood. And like, by the way, there are going to be people that are watching us that don't know what happened with the whole Miles Bridges thing. Explain it to them.
He beat up his girlfriend.
Great. Short to the point.
And you know what? He was going to get the max if not for that incident. He was set up to get the max. But still, I think the lineup probably will go like this. In my opinion, it'll go LaMelo, Terry, Brandon Miller, Miles Bridges, either Nick Richards or PJ Washington
Oh,
as the
okay.
starting 5.
So where do you see him in the division? You said middle of the road team. Do you see him go? Do you see him like the
Let's
third or
see
fourth place in the division?
let's see who do we got? Heat, Hawks, Wizards. No, Heat, Hawks.
You think the Wizards will beat the Hornets?
No. I think the best team in that little group is the Heat. In the division, it's the Heat. The Heat
Yeah.
are remain defending Eastern Conference champs. The Hawks are getting slowly better and better. The Wizards, there's a lot of turmoil there. feel like I'm missing one back. Orlando. Orlando's up and coming.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking last night on the show. You might have watched it. We were talking about the midseason. Now, mind you, I'm going to ask you this right now before we get to the stuff with the Yankees. I want to ask you this right now. Well, you asked last night on Basket Bros. We had a prediction. Who do you think wins the first midseason, the midseason tournament? Your compare.
Who did you guys have? Is what I want to know real quick.
Well, let's see. Let me see. George picked the Miami Heat.
Okay.
Let's see. George picked the Miami Heat. Let's see. Jay picked, or Denzel picked Houston, his team. Yeah, we know Void. You already saw it. And okay. Yeah, well, they got somewhere last year. Knicks did. So you have. I mean, they're getting better. And then I picked the Orlando Magic. And the reason I picked the Orlando Magic to win that midseason tournament is because I don't believe that a lot of the teams with their megastars, the megastars will play unless I don't believe that they'll play those the knockout rounds. The 2 or 3 games there in the round robin thing. I don't think they'll play those. So Orlando's the one that unless here's the thing. For instance, you get the Lakers if they don't have a LeBron, they don't have a thing, and it's Austin Reeves leading the way, for instance. You have something like that, unless that gets led to the deal, unless they get led to the semifinals that goes to Las Vegas. Yeah. I truly and utterly can't see the Lakers getting anywhere or LeBron playing. But I see Orlando. It seems like Orlando, Houston, and all them are going to play all theirs.
So my pick, and I agree with you, it's Orlando because look at this. Cole Anthony had a resurgent year. You got Jalen Suggs. You got the Wagner brothers. And you got Paolo Banchero. Yeah, good young team. Give me the Magic as well.
Well, they'll be playing. Here's the thing: regardless of it, they'll play everybody. Like the Lakers and the Bucks won't. I mean, we won't see. You won't see Giannis. You will not see Giannis every game. You won't see KD every game. You won't see. You won't see LeBron every game.
Yeah, no. That's
you'll see them in the. You'll see because guess what?
Orlando.
The Final Four is in Las Vegas. You'll see them in the big time. But you're not going to see them going to the one thing to the other playing a bunch of scrubs. It's kind of like summer league to them.
Yeah, I agree. I think Orlando definitely wins it. I think they're a good young team.
Hedging his bets? Yeah, that's not the first. I'm just messing with you, man. Oh, dude, Bills. The Bills aren't losing anymore. He's thinking Super Bowl. He's thinking Super Bowl, though, but the Bills looks like a really good team. Oh, my God.
Thanks, Void.
That would be... So who do you have for the midseason, Void?
He doesn't really follow modern basketball.
Oh, he doesn't? It's like,
no.
So what's his team? What does he follow? What's he follow?
He's a Yankee fan like me. We both collect sports cards. He's also a Bills fan, and he's a Knicks fan. So Yankees, Bills, Knicks.
Well, that's cool, yeah. And he's in New York probably, right?
No, he lives in Florida, actually.
Well, I mean, Yankees are in Florida for spring training. You can understand that.
Yep.
So, yeah, we had that last night, and it was a good little deal. It's like that's personally my thing. That's personally my situation with the league, with the midseason thing, because there's gonna be big stars that are going to use it as rest unless it's in Las Vegas.
Oh,
easily. Business.
Oh, yeah. Easily.
Like, I mean,
you know what, Jacob? James Harden will use it as paid time off, extra vacation.
Well, he does that anyway. But it's like, but you got to realize when we picked Houston and Orlando, those are teams that are going to play everybody. Paolo Banchero will play everything. He'll play every game. I
think could sneak up? I know they were a playoff team last year, but the Cavs.
That could be.
Jared San Antonio Allen, Evan Mobley, you got Garland, you got Mitchell.
San Antonio could sneak, but that depends if Pop wants him to play in that game. You know what I'm saying? The Victor.
He won't let. I don't think he lets Wemby play.
Yeah, he'll play the Final Four. He'll play Final Four.
Oh yeah, but I wouldn't risk it like the early rounds.
Yeah, but it's like that's if he would play that thing. But it's like I said, Brandy Miller I think plays. Charlotte Kesley thing. Then he'll play it.
Most rookies will play. Will play.
So, and now let's go to the Yankees. This is something we have with your buddy Void here. Here's the Yankees. So what's the place are they in right now? Where do you see them?
We're in fourth. Think we end third. I think we only move up because the Rays are still hot. The Orioles are only getting hotter because the Rays have Randy Arozarena. They got Shane McClanahan. They've got Wander Franco. Got great young pieces. Orioles, they've got great young pieces as well. You got Ryan Mountcastle. You have Adley Rushman. You have Gunnar Henderson. You have Grayson Rodriguez. You got Cedric Mullins. And then there's us. I think we're third. I think we're definitely better than Boston because we got IKF, who I hated for the longest time, but he's slowly picking it up. We've got Judge. Once he comes back, we're going to be going back to
What happened to Judge anyway?
He hurt his toe at Dodger Stadium. The freaking the wall wasn't padded where he hit his toe.
See, and I get the big toe, right?
I think.
Oh yeah, trust me. Went for a black belt test and broke my big toe. I still see the bone sticking out to this day. You know, you can't do anything about the toe either because you can't wrap it up.
Yeah, and like literally hurts his swing. Let's see. And then we got Volpe, who's a good young piece. We've got a young shortstop who so much fun to watch. We got Harrison Bader. We got Giancarlo Stanton. We got Garrett Cole, who's definitely going to be in the Cy Young race.
10-2 right now, right? 10-2 now, right?
10-2 or 11-2, one of those two.
Yeah.
And then we got Judge. So I think we're the third best team in that division.
Yeah. Do you think you missed the wild card?
It just depends. I actually, for some reason, I don't know why I'm saying this. I think we get it over a team like Houston. I think Houston's very spotty this year because I know you got Kyle Tucker, who's good offensively and defensively. You got Yordan Alvarez, you got Alex Bregman, you got Jose Altuve. Been in the World Series recently. You won it last year, but I think we're better than a team like Houston, Cleveland, Minnesota. Let's see who else is there. I'm just going through AL West, Central, East, West. Yeah, I think we get the wild card. I definitely do.
Well, the big thing is the Cubs have something to think about
There's
because
something we want from you guys though.
What's that?
We want Cody.
Yeah, that's the thing. But the thing is, truthfully, Cody's been really. But here's the issue though with Cody, and this is what. Yeah, but
no, that's what I'm saying, Void. We will sneak into the wild card.
No. But here's the issue. Cody started with his MVP thing, and then 3 years in a giant market. And that's what happened. Then he goes to the Cubs, which is a big market, but he can relax a little bit in comparison to New York, to LA. Yeah, and then but the thing is, Bellinger, he already was in LA, and he was averaging about 175 there. All of a sudden, you're going to New York, which is even more vicious. Can he handle the big markets?
You know what? I think he'll be fine because he'll be behind Stanton and Judge, who will take all the pressure. So yeah, I think he would.
Yeah, but that's the big
But
thing.
the problem is, I don't want to get rid of Bader. Like, I don't think Bader's a piece we want to get rid of, but I don't know.
The thing is, if Cubs are sellers, they're not taking Bader.
Oh no, you're not. We also want another pitcher because Severino is probably gone after this year. He is atrocious. I was talking to Void last night. His ERA is 5.36, which is very un-Severino-like. So I think we're going to keep Cole, Cortez. Rodon probably sticks around. Herman may stick around. And then we're going to be looking at maybe catcher, but we've got a really good catcher in our system named Austin Wells.
So when does Judge come back?
They said soon because he was doing sprints the other day.
Yeah.
So if I had to guess, not this series, potentially next series, I really hope soon because I'm going to New York in September and I really want to see him play.
Oh, no, September will be longer than that, unless they shut him down. He's
Which
long
I
out of
don't
that.
see us shutting him down. No way.
No, no, not when you're this. No, but do you here's the deal? Do you think the East has do you think Boston, New York are permanently gone and it's going to be a new East, or do you think it's just a 1 year deal?
Well, I don't know. I think Boston's a very iffy team. You got Devers. Oh wait, no. Is it Devers? Yeah, it is. You still have Devers. You have Verdugo. You got Yoshida. You got Sale, who's basically should have retired already. That who's washed up. They got um, and but the thing is, the Rays have a really good young team with a great farm system. Same with the Orioles. They're a great young team with a great farm system. And then you got the Blue Jays, who've got Bichette, Guerrero. They got decent pitching. They got Matt Chapman. So I think I don't think we're gonna be I think eventually if everyone could stay healthy for a while, we're gonna slowly get back to the top. But man, the Orioles and the Rays and the Blue Jays, mainly the Orioles and the Rays for the future are gonna be really tough. Really tough.
Now, explain the whole situation. I'm going to get your thought process on because I have my thought process with. I'll give you this first, okay? I'll give this first here. The whole thing with the Brian Cashman. This is the thing that I say. I mean, the pros 6 World Series. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like what 13 ALCSs.
Hmm.
14. It's like I mean that's see the thing is at the same time they're not winning it anymore, and you know what it is in New York. But I always have a saying because I said this with Mitchell Trubisky, I said it with Jimmy Garoppolo. I've said all these, and you've heard me say this before. Replace you properly. Like there was a clip of Jimmy Garoppolo throwing it was like a big pass in overtime of Monday night game. Big pass that it was right in overtime, big one, and he had been struggling all game long, and he throws a big one. And of course, if it's in stride, it's a touchdown. But it was a Robbie Gold field goal that won it. And that was the thing. Jimmy and Mitch do that same thing. Is when things are going bad, they'll come up with a big play. And I always say replace. I'm not saying anybody's a Hall of Famer. What I say with something like that is replace them properly because you can get worse than that. If you go by emotions. And mind you, Brian Cashman is a Hall of Famer. Brian Cashman's a legend in New York for
Hmm.
the what is from what he did all those years. All the years that he's had there, he's a legend there. But at the same time, this is the thing to say. They're mad because he can't get by the ALCS anymore. You haven't won since '09. They're mad at the same time. How much worse could it get if you pick the wrong person? That's all I say personally myself. Now, what do you say with him?
Part of me agrees with you, but the other part is us Yankee fans. We're sick of mediocrity. We haven't
No,
made
it's
one
not
since.
mediocrity. It can get mediocre. It's
Hmm.
just not
Okay,
finishing. It's
we're
not
we're
finishing.
sick of we're sick of our ceiling being the LCS. Yes, Cashman's good, but Cashman. Trust me, if George Steinbrenner was alive today, Aaron Boone would have been gone a year or two ago. Because Cashman should have. Cashman's giving Boone a huge leash. It's like a leash that stretches yards on yards on yards on yards. And Boone should have been gone because, yes, I like Boone as a player for us. Gave us some great memories as Yankee fans. But the problem is, he just, Boone gets ejected too much. He runs his mouth too much. He doesn't think a lot. He's kind of a boring personality sometimes, at times. But I really didn't like the Boone hiring. I was sad when Girardi left. I thought actually I can't say I didn't like the Boone hiring. I thought it was interesting. It wasn't the greatest choice, but it wasn't the worst choice. Personally, Boone. I think Boone. If I was like the GM where Brian Cashman was, I think Boone's gone after this year. I honestly I think Boone's gone because look who's next to you in the Blue Jays. Look who's north of the border. Oh wait, Void knows this guy. You know this guy, Don Mattingly. Don Mattingly could
Mm-hmm.
sit with Don Mattingly managed the Dodgers to good teams. He managed the Marlins to be relevant somewhat. And you know what? I think Andy played for us. I think he would be a great manager for us. And I don't think he would mind it because right now he's a hitting coach. And I bet you he has somewhat of that itch where every night he thinks, man, when am I going to manage a team again? Because he is the perfect guy to take Boone's spot. And I I don't hate Cashman. I don't love Cashman. He was great when we had those World Series titles. I just feel like Cashman's getting kind of lazy because look at the signings he's had. He had Josh Donaldson, great for the Braves, great for the Blue Jays. But guess what? And the below mediocre for the Twins. Guess what? He's been a Yankee. He hits home runs every blue moon every so often. Very barely gets hits. A lot of the times he goes hitless. And guess what just happened the other day? Oh wait, he got injured. And guess how old he is? Oh wait, upper 30s. Guess what? I want a guy who's younger than that being our third baseman because how many more years are we going to get of Josh Donaldson? Like, his prime is way done. He's out of his prime, and he needs to be traded or DFA because I get it. You got injured and you got sent down, but I want you stayed sent down because I don't think you deserve to be on that major league roster because of how mediocre you're playing.
Yeah. Well, I'm seeing that the big thing that I always try to say is because of my Bears. Of what you can get. It's like the Bears won 2 winnings, two winning streak. I mean, they had one of those in 25 games, 2-game winning streak, and when they were starting to win a little bit under the other one, and no Justin Fields. I mean, Mitchell Trubisky is not better than Justin Fields as far as his skills, but as far as getting the ball off, as far as experience, as far as everything, things were winning, things were being done. They lose all those games, and I can't stand the losing. But the biggest thing is, but I used to bring that up. If you're going to replace Trubisky, give something proper. People wanted Cam Newton. I wanted, when he was really busted up, I wanted Tom Brady, who was right again. I'm not wrong often. Brady gets another Super Bowl. He gets 2 more playoffs. You know what I'm saying? He gets those. It's like he gets 2 more playoffs. Meanwhile, it's like, and those are the things. If you're going to replace, it's like, of course, replace it with the legend. Don't replace it with the guy who's beat up. Then they go get Nick Foles, which was disaster. This is the point that I make with everything. If you're going to know what you have, quit lying about it. Not saying you, but I say about fans. Yeah. Know what you have. Quit lying about it because things always get worse. And that's the thing I say with Cashman. It's the fact that, yeah, he's lazy. I'll admit that. He is lazy. And I know very well, being Yankees fans, you don't want the ceiling to be ALCS. Completely. But what is better, the ceiling be an ALCS or the 64-win team, which is the wrong person comes around as the 64-win team.
Very true.
And it's like, and the thing is, the 64, not too many 64-win type things that go to that move up.
Yeah, they stay like that for a while.
Yeah, they stay for their thing unless you get somebody right off the bat. And that's all I'm bringing. Go get Theo Epstein.
I would love a Theo Epstein.
Yeah, go get Theo Epstein. Go get, whatever. Heck, and go get, who's the Guardians manager, Francona.
I would love Francona.
Yeah.
I would love Francona. I would love Don Mattingly. I would love... There's so many guys I would love to manage.
See, but those are proper replacements. I mean, people can say Boone all they want to do, but there's winning a little bit. It's like there's a little bit, little, but little is, guess what? Guess what? I tell you, Oakland would love that right now.
Yeah.
And that's the point. You don't want to beat Oakland, and it could take this much to get that far. And that's to get that far down. It could take that much. And that's all I'm saying is maintain yourself until you go get something big. That's why I say go get a Francona. Maybe go get go get Theo. Go get stay with what you're at and get better from it.
Exactly.
Don't use the emotion, as I call emotional nitwits. Don't use the emotion to go get them to just replace just because you're mad at somebody. It's
Exactly.
because what do you want? Somebody like Theo Epstein gets the ALCS into the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
And you can just say, and then you can say later, Cashman kept you there.
Yep.
But if you get somebody worse, then it's hard to go get that. That's all I mean with everybody.
Nope. Exactly.
Yeah, because Yankees aren't far. When you're ALCS, you're not far off. You just need someone else, but make sure it's right.
Exactly.
Yeah. So so really, and I was going to bring this one more thing we were going to bring up. Who do you got for the World Series this year?
Man, that's tough. I've got the Braves because they're just so good right now. Wow. I can see like a Braves Rays World Series.
I could see Braves and Orioles. Orioles are getting stronger. I could see that they're getting stronger. And I could see
Braves, Rays, Orioles, Dodgers, something like that.
Well, I always wonder with the Dodgers. It's like the one good thing about the Dodgers. This is you got to remember when I saw them losing early last year, and I got it right. It was because they get these in the middle of their wins. They get these stupid lulls. Well, they got the lulls, and look what happened. Look. I mean, that's the thing. Look what happened. They were out. It's like you could just see the lull in the way they were hitting, the lull in their little appeal. They've seen that. This year, there's not really a lull. It's been more consistency. So the Dodgers could do a little more with that. But the Braves are just a monster. They are going to be tough to take out.
Oh, yeah, they're scary.
I mean, they just took 2 from the White Sox, and the third one they could.
You got pitching, you got bats, you got fielding, yeah, everything.
Oh yeah, and the thing is, they were 60 and 30, and that was but let's see, I believe 61 and 30. I have to double check, but that's telling you what. That's the thing about the Braves. Even their loss, they were first and third with 1 out, and they just one thing, and it's over. Game's over.
Yeah,
and they're that close all the time. They just hit all the time, and that's the big thing. They're just going to be a monster to take out because they don't ever really have a bad game. Even their blowouts, they'll get 6 runs. They don't have a bad game.
Exactly.
So there's that. Well, anyway, let's. I was going to say this. Tell us where you're from because we had a good one tonight. Tell us where you're. I mean, do you have any shows coming up? What do you do?
Well, as you guys know, I'm on the South Florida Tribune YouTube channel in the comments section. I'm also on Smoking Jeremy B's Wednesday night shows. Also his Friday shows occasionally, and then I'm on Basket Bros on Sundays.
Oh yeah, and you stay busy with that. There's no question of that. Hey Jay, come on in. Let's get him in to say this thing.
I would love to see if Jay has any questions also.
Let's see if Denzel's here really quickly. Well, either way, but no.
Is he here?
Yeah, I'm guessing he went to go get a bite to eat or whatever. You know what he does. He goes cooks dinner and he forgets we exist. But
right.
No, but I'm down. The reason I wanted you in is because all those weeks I had people or I was trying to lay down some deals. Because I was saying I said I'm going to say goodbye to this show other than for full time, other than like big time guests, and I wanted to get you in before that because I promised you.
And are you guys having guests on your new show coming up?
Yeah, well, we don't. Well, it's going to be the wrestling show, and probably at first show I have an idea. Other than that, it's just going to be us. So we're looking at that. So we're getting the idea. But the whole point of it. Whole point of something like this is it's just the fact that it's like do that show, but I also want to take the Punditviews to like don't do it every week. It's hard to nail people down.
Oh, it is
Hard to nail people down for that kind of thing, and it's like do it when you can get something real, and then you can put it on Patreon or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Go get that thing. Will, you just wanted to let you know you're doing a great job.
Appreciate it.
You're doing a great job. Just keep working, keep improving. You know what I'm saying? Look
Yes,
at the
sir.
amount of time you took tonight, because normally I'm having to build I mean, it's not anybody's fault. I'm just having to build a conversation till we get it going, and everything. Tonight you took over.
I tried.
Understand? You took over because there's a knowledge that you have with either the sports and stuff like that. You're going to get to that idea, and you can get this. Just keep improving. Keep working and get everything like that. Get yourself, and personally to me, I'd love to see you on the hockey show someday. You know what I'm saying? Just get the whole thing.
Yeah, Jordan and I are still talking.
Well, the good. And it's like, and that's the big thing. And it's like, just keep working at it, because you're going to get you keep working at it, you're going to get you're going to get a billion shows. And I'm just going to say that because you can keep the time going.
Appreciate it.
Well, anyway, hopefully the Denzel's still around if he's not cooking. Can you come on in real quick, or we're going to have to say goodbye on it? But, well, Will, I wanted to say this. This is Will Vogel. I mean, that's Will Vogel. This is Jacob Christopher. I'm the Punditviews. We had a lot of fun tonight. Thank you for coming on, and just keep on improving. Have a great night. I'm going to take off. Have a good one, buddy.
You too.